All right, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Brandon?
How's it going?
Tell the people how many episodes.
Technically it's number 4, but I'm going to stop counting that way because I know I'm wrong. It is number 2.
Episode number 2. Okay, the drunk news segment.
Tipsy news? No, I don't like tipsy news, but yes.
What are we going to call it now?
Beer news. Beer news is
craft beer news.
Craft beer brewery industry news. Getting caught up on news.
Yes. What's the latest news? We have time for one segment.
One segment. Found one article that was pretty interesting. Full disclosure, I did not have enough time to prepare for this.
We never do.
As usual.
We never do.
We also running a very busy production company, but no excuses. Next time I will be prepared. But this is an article from CoStar.com. CoStar is a news website.
Sure.
I believe. The headline that grabbed my attention was, "As craft beer slows, breweries get creative with their real estate."
Mm-hmm.
Subheadline, "Some seek out music in sport venues as well as fast-growing neighborhoods."
Mm-hmm.
This article was published March 5th of 2023 at 8:14 p.m., so a little bit less than 24 hours ago. It says, "Following a long stretch of booming growth, the craft beer industry is bracing for the slowest year for U.S. breweries openings in the last 10 years. That slowdown was marked by more than 200 brewery closings last year as the industry matured and competition intensified, and it could lead to greater emphasis on site selection as breweries look for new ways to stand out in a crowded field. It's more important than ever to differentiate yourself," said Bart Watson, chief economist for the Brewers Association, in an interview with CoStar News. "In some cases, that means going where the people are already gathering rather than trying to create a standalone destination." Before I go any further, we'll say we have some familiarity with this because we've had several breweries come to the greater Reno Sparks area and fail as well. Close over the past couple of years since the pandemic.
Well, let's talk more about that article, because people who will be watching this might not be from Reno, but yes, a couple I have in mind that closed down. Mm-hmm. 3, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 2 years. But so the least amount of new breweries are going to show up this year out of the last 10 years.
Yes.
The least amount of openings. Correct? Mm-hmm. And how many closed last year?
Over 200.
Nationwide. Okay. Any specification on size? Any brewery goes, like anything from half a barrel up to whatever? Any commercial brewery?
Just later on in the article, it says there were about 600 brewery openings around the country in 2022, mm-hmm. but also about 250 closings, according to the Brewers Association.
So almost half of the ones that opened closed. Obviously not the same ones, but ones that have been established for many years, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Okay, and what are they predicting to the number to be in 2023?
Great word. Prediction is true. That's what it says here. There's an interesting number here. It doesn't say. It's just going to be the lowest. If 600 opened last year, less than that.
The least amount in 10 years, right? I was just wondering if they mentioned anything.
There's a Boulder, Colorado predicts. No, yeah, just no numbers. Yeah, it just says the lowest ever.
So here in Reno, you're saying we might not see any new breweries? Well, I take that back. We already have one. Yes. No, they opened last year, I think. Sleeve Brewing next to Pigeon Hand for local folks. I think they opened end of last year. Okay. Might have been their soft opening, I'm not sure.
I didn't know. Never heard of it until the other day when we went.
Just about a month ago, yeah.
And Byron was there, who we're going to have Byron on this channel at some point. But that brewery I didn't know was open longer than this year. New to me, but I think you're correct.
I think so.
Fucking amazing beers.
Some good beers, yes. But possibly we're not going to have any more. There's so many. I mean, I don't know. I'm not aware of any other ones. And
there is one more that opened this year. I'm pretty sure it opened in February.
What is it?
Voodoo Brewery.
I think you're right. And also in Reno for people not from Reno, but which most people will be watching this are probably not from Reno.
Probably not from Reno, but I do consider the Reno. No, so Reno, Nevada is just on the other side of the mountains from Sacramento. Northern Nevada and Northern California were 3 hours-ish away from Santa Clara area, the Bay Area, all of those wonderful Northern California breweries. I think in Reno, a town of about 300 or 350,000 people, I think we have like 20-something breweries here.
17 or 18, I think I counted the other day.
It's freaking...
It's good.
That's good. So we're like kind of like a mecca for breweries, I think. Not
on the smaller scale, I would say, besides the obvious San Diego, the Bay Area is all like one. I feel like, Seattle, Portland. I mean, even smaller places like Bend, Oregon. I think they have quite a few breweries in Bend. I've been to the shoots out there, and they're smaller than Reno, I think. Reno Sparks, at least.
Yeah, there's.
So there's other ones on that similar scale, but a lot of growth in Reno. Now it will be interesting to know. You mentioned the least amount of new breweries this year, possibly in 10 years, predicted by this person. Are we at an all-time high in terms of the most breweries we've ever had? That would be an interesting statistic to look up. 2023 compared to 22, 21, 20. Obviously, COVID happened, right? Less openings. They're saying there's less openings, less new breweries than in 2020, the year of COVID.
That's what it says.
Really?
Like less openings in 2020 and 2021.
Oh wow! I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that
at all.
Here's the interesting number here. Final, well, not the final paragraph, but it's a quote here from, who is it from? I think it's the same person, Bart Watson, who is the chief economist for the Brewers Association, said in a previous interview with CoStar News, "What we're seeing is a maturing of the industry where openings and closings are moving closer to being in balance. 5 years ago, we had a lot of openings and almost no closings. As we're getting close to 10,000 breweries in the country, we're seeing a more mature and competitive market." Oh, here's some figures for each year since 2012. Yeah,
and actually steadily growing in the last 10 years.
No, nope. Openings went up. It went starting in 2012, like a nice consistent curve up to 2017, 2018, almost a plateau, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022.
Okay. So right before COVID, it peaked. And then obviously a lot of breweries closed with COVID because people couldn't go drink in most cases.
Closings were a sharp increase, oddly, in 2019, but 2020 was a big one. 2021 almost, less closings than the year before.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 2020 was definitely
Maybe we'll
the most.
show the graph in the video for people to take a look from that article. We'll give credit where it's due.
Yeah, so if you want to find out more information on this article or other beer news, go check out CoStar.com, article 864-857-867, or just follow the link in the description.
I would follow the link at this point.
Okay.
All right, so that's, sad news, but it sounds like that's what they're predicting to be true anyway going forward. So they're getting closer to closing and openings, and numbers are getting closer. And now we have some very small breweries here locally.
It's 23,000 for revision.
23,000, 40,000 for Russian River. Wonder what grade basin. Well, that's local shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us more about what we have here today. What do we have?
So since we did an IPA head-to-head last week, this week wanted to switch it up a little bit. We picked one of our combined favorite styles of beer, the Kölsch. Chris is actually the one that turned me on to the Kölsch. I never really ventured far away from IPAs or, porters and things like that. I did never had a Kölsch until you introduced me to them. So I'll let you explain because
don't even know
you know a little bit more about the style than I do. Kölsch. So
Kölsch, but Kölsch, right, in English, in American English. Let's put it that way. So we have a Kölsch style beer. Let me show on this camera here. Kölsch style, because just like with real champagne, right, is it from Champagne, France? Is that actually what it's called?
Yeah,
Champagne.
I just call it
Champagne City.
France, yeah.
Champagne City in France, just like the champagne. A real Kölsch has to come from Cologne in Germany, right? So we actually do have a real Kölsch here today, not Kölsch style. It's a real Kölsch, right from Cologne, Reissdorf Kölsch. Feels weird, like mispronouncing the word how it's actually not pronounced in German into American English. You go from Kölsch to Kölsch, and then people in Cologne pronounce it slightly differently as dialect. But yes, actually, why don't we briefly talk about these, right? So the first one, okay, let's go with the American-made Kölsch. Occidental Brewing, I believe they're from Portland, Oregon, and they had a brewery location here at the Baldini's Casino. They opened, maybe you can enlighten the people, when this brewery opened their Sparks location here, which is not too far from our studio. They opened up their brewery, I want to say, a wild guess, I don't know, 2017, 18, somewhere in that range.
That's correct. I can't find any information because it is closed now, but it does say January 5th, 2018, Occidental Brewing Company has opened a new brewery.
Okay, so it was 2018, right? And they made primarily German-style beers, Lager, Pilsner, Hefeweizen, Kölsch, and they obviously canned some of these beers as well, and they had a really good happy hour here locally. And they actually let them go for a pretty good price. Happy hour, a tall glass was $2.50, $3. Very competitive for really good beer, right? And I really liked them. And then because of COVID, they closed the location here in Sparks. However, and maybe we can find a photo of the old location here in Sparks. There has to be photos. I'm sure I've taken many. Used to go there every Friday. Happy hour was great. Their food was decent, but their beers were really shining. They're mainly German-style beers. Like most of their lists were German-style beers. And this was one of the beers they had. Funny enough, they closed the location. Obviously, the one in Portland is still alive. We can tell. And really, really good Kölsch. Tell people maybe more about quickly. ABV, IBU is not. There's not going to be much IBU here, but some specs that we can put on a graph maybe for the people to also see and look at.
Yeah. Hopefully, Jesse McCluskey, our creative director for this show, will be able to come up with an awesome graphic for this. But
yeah, Untapped. Maybe we're talking Untapped, right?
I'm on Untapped. I would love to use Untapped solely, but
no Untapped for Occidental.
Well, it says NA-IBU. NA.
So no IBUs. It's typically even like very little, but.
So according to, we'll see, according to Untapped, who is not sponsor for our channel, but we do value Untapped, the app and the website, untappd.com, UNTAPPD. This is Occidental's homage to the delicious ale of Cologne, Germany. Crisp and dry, it is clean and lager-like with a pleasant, slightly spicy hop profile supplied by German Pearl. Very sessionable. It does say there are not applicable IBUs. which is kind of given for Kölsch, but there has to be some kind of IBU. I mean, there's hops in it, so
5 or 10, maybe, I don't know.
It is a 4.5% ABV, and it has a total of it's given some weird numbers here, but looks like about 17 people a month log this beer. It's had just under 6,000 ratings, and it is rated a 3.63.
And since I want to kind of feature the brewery, and I don't know too much about them because I've never been to their original location, only to the place here in Sparks, but any output on how many barrels a year, how big their facility is? Do you have several facilities still, or just the one in Portland? What's going on?
So, interesting fact, get into that here in a second, but Occidental Brewing Company was founded in 2011.
Okay, it's pretty new.
And you're correct, in Portland, Oregon.
Yes. Occidental Brewing, right? I mean, you should be able to find the output like somewhere, because they're quite sizable, I would assume. They distribute out here. They have to have some kind of presence, right? I think, maybe.
Occidental Brewing Company was founded in 2011 by Ben and Dan Engler with the goal of making well-balanced continental-style beers in the land of IPAs. Mm-hmm. Portland, Oregon, you're correct when you said that.
Sounds like a German last name to me as well, so... yes. I'm just saying.
Engler.
I don't know, how do you pronounce it? How do you spell it?
Engler.
Yes. That has to be a German last name. We'll fact check that. Okay. So they're still in Portland, right? They're still doing good beers, because I've had, I think, all of them at this point, or whatever they sold in Sparks here locally at the time. Well, it was beautiful because we could get it on tap.
Yes.
We actually got the stuff on tap.
Yeah, again, 4.5% ABV and 5,958 ratings on Untapped, rating a average of 3.63.
That's not bad, right?
It's not bad.
Because again, you have a Kölsch style beer, like people don't get as excited, though they should. And I assume that's why people, some people are just, I don't know, they want a double IPA, they want to taste a lot of stuff, and they drink a Kölsch and they're like, But this is like the true original light beer, but perfected almost, right? I mean,
let's give her a taste.
Yes, been waiting for that for a long time.
I think we should get to the taste.
Again, both of these we got in cans. Occidental does not bottle, I don't think, at least not here in Reno, Sparks area. We can't find bottles as far as I know.
Big shout out to Craft Wine and Beer over on South Virginia Street here in Reno for hooking us up.
Tell people where we bought these beers for people who live here in Sparks and Reno, which I'm not sure if anybody in Reno Sparks watching this, but tell them please, where can these beers be found locally? Say it again, sorry.
Craft Wine and Beer, located at 22 Martin Street in Reno, Nevada at 89509, just south of Midtown. It's actually right in Midtown, but just south of downtown in Reno. For those of you who travel to Reno or live in the area, go check them out. Craft Wine and Beer, fantastic store.
I believe Ty is the owner. Might have fucked that one up.
Yeah, Ty.
Yeah. Ty is the owner. We saw him today. I believe that was Ty.
Ah, super nice.
So super nice. All right. Prost.
Oh, Prost. I like how you said the original light beer, but perfected, because you're fucking right about that.
Well, the original is lagers came first, right, and then Kölsch evolved. I can tell a little bit more about the story about Kölsch when we go back to the OG. But no, a lot of props to Occidental. They're doing a really good job. Again, I have not had this beer since they closed the location. Full transparent. I might have bought it a couple of times. Again, I think they're highly underrated here, even locally. There might be a big seller in Portland. I'm not sure. But let me rattle it down without explaining too much. Right, golden straw color. They usually always use the same hops for Kölsch, or very similar hops. IBUs are extremely low, obviously, 4.5%. On the Kölsch scale of appearance for me, I would like to even see a little bit more of a crisp, clean look, right? And again, I'm going to be fairly stiff on these ratings, especially with drinkability on Kölsch, because it's almost like cheating. Because, you know, it's still something I very much enjoy. I can drink, I don't know, I feel like 20 of these in 20 minutes. That's what it feels like. But, you know, on appearance, I'll give it like a 4 point. Actually, appearance, let's do 3.9. Again, I'm pretty strict with these ratings. I just like to see it a little bit more clear, a little bit more crisp on a Kölsch. But again, subjective, right? Everybody's different. On the smell, you know, smells like there's a lot more to it than a traditional Kölsch. I mean, I like the smell. Yeah, I would give it a 4 out of 5. And then the taste. I like the taste and the aftertaste. Are very straightforward aftertaste. Very what do you call it? Fast finish. Very
fast finish is a good term.
Fast finish. It's a very fast finish.
In and out, like
it's and again, Kölsch style, right? It's quick, easy, drinkable. But comparing it just to what I know a Kölsch should taste like, and the aftertaste, and again, this is not a bad rating. You got to be harsh on Kölsch because it is, you know, got to be very harsh. This is going to be different because I've had this many other times as well.
Can't wait till we get to that. Very fucking close.
Very close, yes. Which again, for Kölsch, you have to. It's tough.
Drum roll, please. 3.54.
Okay, that's respectable. That's respectable.
Respectable. Can't wait to taste what the other beer is. Guess we can get to that real quick. We'll finish these beers up. Go wash our glasses.
2 minutes later. I said no, 2 seconds later. Huh? All right, Reissdorf Kölsch, okay, from Cologne, the real fucking deal, the real Kölsch beer, not style, the real shit, which, again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please do. I believe the minerals in the water in Cologne define a real Kölsch beer. The water chemistry in Cologne specifically dictates what a Kölsch should taste like, I'm pretty sure. But what do we have here? I don't have this memorized, but probably 4-something%. So does it say it on the can? It doesn't. Yeah. It does.
Over at untapped.com.
Doesn't say it on the can.
Reissdorf Kölsch is a private brewery founded by Heinrich Reissdorf. It's a 4.8% ABV with 21 IBUs.
21 IBUs?
According to Untapped, which I must believe. But, wow, way more ratings. Holy shit.
Well, probably because they've been around for longer than 2011. Probably. Well, Untapped, how long has Untapped been around for? Like, I've never asked that question.
I actually knew
What's going on? You know this?
2010.
I don't see ABV on here. I do not. It says brewed after the Purity Law 1516, but that's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh shit.
Since 1894.
Yes. I was waiting for you to. I was excited about this.
1894.
Untapped was founded October 22nd, 2 days after my birthday, 2010. So not that
2010.
Not that long.
Okay, beer advocates must have been around for a little bit longer than that. But Untapped, most popular beer rating app now to date in the States, at least.
Our favorite for sure. Big cheers to you, Untapped.
I have to catch up on my ratings, but
the private. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to cut you off. The private brewery Heinrich Reissdorf GmbH & Co. was founded in 1894 by Heinrich Reissdorf in Cologne, Germany. It produces a top fermented beer called the Reissdorf Kölsch. And it has a whopping 89,150 ratings on Untapped.
Sorry, I try to be aggressive with the pour and give you some man. Just backfired big time. Big time. Because usually you want to give it a little bit more oomph. But Reissdorf don't give a shit. I'm sorry, you just gave some really good information. I would assume that the original owner, Heinrich, is no longer around. Is that true?
I mean, he founded it in 1894, so...
Some of these Germans live a long time.
Possibly.
Especially in a lot of Kölsch.
89,150 reviews, bringing it to a total of a little bit less than Occidental, 3.49.
Now I'm curious.
Just a reminder, Occidental was 3.63.
And what is Reissdorf Kölsch?
3.49. But it has like 100,000 more ratings.
But I would. So most of these ratings are coming from Americans that use this app, right? Because it's an American. Well, I mean, is there Untapped in Germany? Maybe people tell us.
Yes, there is.
Is there Untapped in Germany? So German people are way more strict with their shit when it comes to beer. So now I would be curious how many of those ratings are from Germany or elsewhere, and how many are from the States? Because this is obviously one of the more popular real Kölsch beers that distribute out here in the States. There's Frühkölsch, Reissdorf Kölsch. There's only a few out here in Reno, Sparks area. Maybe more in California, maybe more in Oregon, I'm not sure.
Früh actually has more ratings. That's crazy. 103,000 ratings. I won't get into that one right now. It's actually rated even less than the Reissdorf.
No, we'll get in a different segment here, but
we will. So 90,000 reviews on Untapped. Let's give ours. I gotta say, this is an official Kölsch. Occidental did nail it. It's very.
I don't think exactly, but close enough. Does it say on Untapped what hops they're using? Because I don't think they're using the same hops at all that Occidental is using at all.
I can't get a hop style for this, but it does say typical hops used to brew Kölsch are German noble varieties, Tettnang, Hallertau, Mittelfrüh, and Spalt.
Hallertau hops?
Oddly enough, the last beer Occidental didn't have any of those. I mean, it had what did it say? Pearl.
But again, some of these are readily available to some of these guys. Hallertau is, I think, still one of the biggest hop farms in the world. I think there's a lot of rain out there.
I can't comment on it, but I believe you. It's very popular. This is Hallertau Mittelfrüh. So I'm not sure. I've never heard of that Mittelfrüh.
Mittelfrüh?
Mittelfrüh.
Is it FR and the U with the 2 dots and a H?
No 2 dots, but I'm sure it's just because it's a Google thing.
Okay,
yeah,
maybe.
I'm sure it is.
But I feel like a Kölsch is a very specific style that you don't see too many breweries even offering that style, right? I mean, you lager it, right? It takes longer. You can't charge as much because it's a light beer. Well, it's light. Well, what's the definition on Google of a Kölsch style beer? I'm just curious on how they define. I mean, a very crisp, dry finish lager, yes? No?
The German Kölsch is a beer style, crisp, delicate, and oh so drinkable.
Yeah.
Meaning that its production and subsequent beer drinking experience saddles qualities of both lager beers and ale beers. These light and refreshing ale-lager hybrids are perfect for warm summer days, blah, blah, blah. Let me go back over to the Reissdorf. These days, Reissdorf Kölsch has almost reached a cult status, with beer connoisseurs around the world looking at it as a well-preserved secret. Top fermentation lasts about 8 days with another 4 weeks of cold conditioning. Reissdorf is designed to be pale of color, soft on the palate, restrained on fruitiness, which I don't agree with a delicate dryness of the finish. Reissdorf is a session-style beer served in its typical 7-ounce glass in the wee hours after work.
We did not bring, even though I have them at home, real Kölsch glasses. They're the 0.22 liter skinny glasses. I believe 0.22, I believe so. Okay. But I have a Kölsch wheel at home that you might have seen.
And
so they bring them out right in a wheel, and they give you several glasses. When me and Byron, shout out to Byron, used to go to the tap room here. I forgot in Midtown. They used to have Kölsch wheels, and they used to have a distributor that they give them the wheel, they give them the glasses, and you can buy the whole
Sierra
wheel.
Tap House?
I think it's Sierra Tap House. And you can buy the whole wheel for, I don't know, $20-$30, whatever. I forgot what it was. But they even say like it's you know, and this is close in color, maybe a little bit lighter to the Occidental, right?
Yeah, very similar.
So why don't you do the honors in describing what you're thinking here, and I'll just give you my ratings this time. And again, this is subjective. If you haven't had Kölsch beer too much, I really haven't had too much of it in the last 10 years. You know, appearance is tough with appearance. It's so subjective. Like for me, smell and appearance is so fucking subjective for everyone. Even the taste, right? All of it that I give you, don't use that as a benchmark. But typically, when I tell someone I really fucking like a beer, they be like, "Oh, okay, I agree." You know, it's 9 out of 10 times. So I wanna say, hey, if I really like some, the majority of the people will like it. But I can drink this. I'll drink this. I brush my teeth with this shit. I'll brush my teeth with this stuff, and then drink one before and one after. That's how drinkable it is, in my opinion. Kölsch. It doesn't get more drinkable than Kölsch style beer. I don't know. Again, at a higher standard compared to the pertaining to the style and pertaining to the higher standard we talked about in the first episode, and how many you can drink, considering it's really good stuff and you really enjoy it, and how many you can drink and what's going on. Yeah. And I'm from this country, so it's you know, biased maybe a little bit, but that's just me. Brandon might rate it fucking 1 out of 5. I don't know.
I did rate it quite a bit lower than you did. So we were separated there quite a bit, not a good substantial amount, but
it was because of the drinkability. It jacked up the rating.
You did give it a 4.4.
That's just personal experience for me. I've been to Sierra Tap House and I had 2 of these wheels. I mean, you know, like, yay, let's fucking go. Byron will remember if he's probably not going to watch this, but.
Well, say our 4th untapped West Coast Hoppers rating is the Reissdorf Kölsch.
Reissdorf. You add the E and the N to it every single time you say it.
Because I wrote it here.
You get excited when you say it.
Occidental Kölsch, 3.54.
Okay.
Reissdorf Kölsch, 3.67. So unfortunately, West Coast Hoppers was not able to make it to the Capitol Beer Fest on March 4th, as previously mentioned. But it wasn't our fault, right? It was Jesus. It was Jesus who made it rain and snow a lot over the pass to get over to California, to Sacramento. And I think at some point they closed the pass that afternoon. It's a good thing we didn't go, otherwise we would have been stuck. Yeah. I have to say I'm slightly bummed out that I wrote a nice email to Capitol Beer Fest explaining the reasons, and I didn't even receive a response back, because I think they were either super busy, which they probably were, or just like thinking that we were just ditching them, which we were not. I-80 was indeed closed on the way back as predicted, and that would have left our camera crew and us stranded on the interstate overnight at 15 degrees.
Well, you could have driven back to Sacramento, which after the beer fest ended, we don't have no purpose in Sacramento.
No purpose whatsoever.
Couple cool actually, the couple cool places in Sacramento. I'm not gonna. Maybe you shouldn't add that. Love Sacramento. I love that there's a bar in Sacramento. I forgot what it's called. I've been there once. There's Little Mermaids. There's a bar, and there's a big tank, almost fish tank like, and there's human mermaids. I mean, they are human. Are mermaids human? Are they considered human mermaids? Oh, they're mermaids.
Write in if you know the answer. Are mermaids human? Well,
there were fake mermaids in that bar because there were humans in a mermaid outfit. If they were real mermaids, you probably already would have heard about it, because that would be sick.
That would be sick.
That would be sick. They got him right out of the ocean and put him in this pub. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think I know anybody who's seen anything like it. Fucking mermaids in a fucking bar.
I haven't.
You order your drinks, you see fucking mermaids. Fucking fantastic.
I want to go.
We should go.
Especially
maybe we have an episode out there. Maybe if you hashtag them. 2.5 for me. I mean, yes, it's half. The standard I have for a good beer has to be at least, I want to say, 3 out of 5. To
buy again.
3.1, 2 to 3.67 or so. That's where most of my beers that we'll choose based on me already knowing the brewery. I know they're making good stuff. That's where they will land. But anything beyond 3.8, 3.9 for me is really good. Now we start talking about over 4.2, 4.3, and we're starting talking. We're getting excited. 4.5 and up.
I think that 2.5 is average, and 3 is where I start to buy beers consistently, or more than once. 2.5.
But we have so many beers now. I feel like you don't have to buy beers at 3 out of 5.
You don't. Honestly,
you can buy beers 3.5 and higher only.
Yeah, you can.
If you go on the untapped rating, and depending on how harsh you are, some people might give most beers like 4.5, 4 out of 5. Most people might give them 2 or 3 out of 5 consistently. Everybody's different. But for me, that makes sense. Just like in bowling, it's fairly easy to be decent or good. But it's really, really hard to be really good consistently, right? Well, most sports. So for me, there's a cut between 3.678 rating to the 3.9441 rating. There's a decent difference for me. But now I'm supporting local a lot more than buying Ballast Point, Stone, Rogue, Deschutes, Russian River. Yes, we can buy it here now, but I'll still buy it. But I'd like to support the local breweries, Imbibe, Pigeon Head, Great Basin, whatever it might be. Because I believe that we have really good local craft beer in this town, and I think they're getting better. So, but people who watch this don't know anything about the local breweries here. Most people out of state, because very few distribute to very few places. Revision is probably the one that exports the most beer out of the state.
Great Basin does pretty well.
Great Basin, but I think it's only a couple states. I might be wrong.
Icky goes pretty far.
Icky goes super far. Icky's been around for a little while. At some point, probably the most consumed IPA in town.
Totally agree, but unfortunately, it's time to go because
it's time to go to sleep because it's 7 a.m. on Monday.
Time to go to sleep.
Time to go.
2 beers for me. I'm ready for nap time. But no, it's been a great week, and we're gonna get ready to post this and prepare next time for our episode, West Coast Hoppers. In case you want to find out any more information about what we're doing, head over to www.westcoasthoppers.tv. and find blog articles, photos, and other content that we're going to post right now. To be honest, there's not a ton on there. But we just launched last week. We're only on episode 2 right now. Planning to do one of these every week, including all the beer news and head-to-heads and everything. We don't have any events to talk about today, but we will soon be hitting some beer festivals near you. This is West Coast Hoppers, and with that...